She told you she loved you, and you believed her. Not because the words were extraordinary, but because the timing was surgical. She said it at the exact second you were preparing to walk away, when your doubt had finally grown sharp enough to cut, when the door was half open and your self-respect was already stepping through. That wasn't love. It was a leash dressed up like a confession, tightening slowly around your throat while you mistook the pressure for butterflies. What you're about to understand are the behavioral signatures of women who don't love you. They extract from you. 6 psychological patterns drawn from clinical research, forensic profiling, and documented case histories of covert predators. These are not obvious red flags. Red flags are loud. These are trapdoors hidden beneath polished floors. And the 5th one destroys more men than the rest because it feels identical to devotion until it consumes you. The first pattern is the pity funnel. In her decades of research at Harvard University, psychologist Martha Stout identified something chilling. The most powerful weapon of a sociopathic personality is not charm, it's pity. The manipulator does not seduce through strength, but through suffering. She builds a narrative where she is perpetually wounded, endlessly betrayed, always recovering from someone else's cruelty. Your protective instinct activates automatically. You feel chosen to save her. But this is not vulnerability, it's strategy. Genuine pain is shared hesitantly, with shame and restraint. The pity funnel arrives polished, rehearsed, emotionally precise. The tears land on cue. There is performance where distress should live. In the early 1900s, Belle Gunness lured men through letters soaked in vulnerability, convincing them to sell everything and travel to her farm in Indiana. They came feeling heroic. They never left. The mechanism is the same. When every crisis escalates the moment you try to leave, when new trauma appears exactly when your boundaries strengthen, you are not in love, you are in a rescue mission without an exit. The second pattern is the mirror collapse. Psychopathy researcher Robert D. Hare described parasitic identity, individuals who lack a stable self and instead construct one by absorbing yours. In the beginning, she becomes your perfect reflection. She shares your music taste, your humor, your politics, your philosophy. You feel understood at a molecular level. But this isn't destiny, it's reconnaissance. Author Jackson Mackenzie called this the idealization phase. She studies you carefully, maps your insecurities, and becomes the answer to wounds you didn't realize were visible. Then the collapse begins, slowly, subtly. The interests fade, the admiration turns into criticism, the independence she once praised becomes emotional distance. Meanwhile, she begins redefining you. Confidence becomes arrogance. Boundaries become selfishness. Your identity is reshaped to suit her needs. History offers a parallel in Bess of Hardwick, who adapted flawlessly to each husband's desires, mirroring their expectations until she secured wealth and status. They fell in love with reflections. When the mask slipped, it was too late. The third pattern is loyalty inversion. She demands access to your phone, your schedule, your friendships. Transparency becomes proof of devotion, but her own life remains compartmentalized. Privacy for her, scrutiny for you. Psychologist George K. Sinon described this as covert aggression, control disguised as concern. You are kept defending yourself so constantly that you never examine her secrecy. In the court of Louis XV, Madame de Pompadour maintained influence through surveillance of the king while preserving her own mysteries. His transparency was mandatory, hers was untouchable. If loyalty flows only one direction, you are not in partnership, you are in containment.